Okay, so now it's time for our featured speaker. And normally we have a tradition here at the GNA, but since we have a nice, small, intimate crowd today, John Rehnberg, we're not going to make you go all the way to the back. We're going to let you just sit there, relax, enjoy the wonderful food here at Sherry's Restaurant in San Bruno. See, we're giving you a plug here too, because we're a pay-it-forward organization, right, everyone?
Absolutely.
If you feel we are, give it a big round of applause. Pay it forward, right? All right, I still have the energy going. Okay, so let me just mention a few things about John Rehnberg before we get to his bio here, and then have him take the stage here. Now, I met John several years ago at a Chamber of Commerce event in San Jose. What I really, really liked about John is just a really laid-back, down-to-earth, sweet guy. Even though he's a lot bigger than me, and he could probably, take me out if he had to, in his heart, he wouldn't do that unless he had to protect himself, right? And that's what I love about John. Just a really amazing... John, are you not fond of this intro?
No, it's fine. I think it's fine. I just don't, as far as taking you out, I don't date guys.
Well, okay. Neither do I, John. Neither do I. But just grew to love John over the course of the years even more, and he's been to our San Jose events. He's been to these events here in San Bruno several times. He even came to speak at Modesto GNA several weeks ago before we ended up, shutting that down to convert it to a monthly event. And just a tremendous, tremendous pay-it-forward, caring type of person. And I'm going to go into a brief bio here on John, and then John, it will be all yours to take it away. So, at this week's meeting, John will speak on proper ergonomics around the computer. How many of you here sit at your computer for several hours a day, and after a while, your back starts to hurt, your fingers start to hurt from typing on that keyboard, your eyes are strained looking at the keyboard? How many of you? How many of you have that? I mean, if you're not human, right? And how many of you would like to find better ways to relieve some of that pain so you can last longer and work more effectively and efficiently, right, John?
Correct.
Is that correct there?
Yep.
Am I doing good so far?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. I'll continue then. So, everyone should know about John's manufacturer's representative sample sale for ergonomic chairs. 50% off retail new and up to 85% off on samples. John will share information on how using the proper chairs will keep you in the proper posture, helping you have a more relaxing and productive business day. And the discounted chairs are on a first-come, first-served basis. I'm going to mention the website here because we're a pay-it-forward organization, viaseating.com, viaseating.com. But if you're interested, contact John. He'll tell you more information. So without further ado, please give a big warm GNA welcome to John Rehnberg!
Hey!
Hey, John, give me some love! Oh my God! Woo! Okay, I'm out of here.
Thanks, Elias. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Nice, warm introduction. My main career for 35 years now, gosh, it's amazing. When I started, I had hair and it wasn't white. But my main career has been as an independent manufacturer's representative in the office furniture industry, representing over the years, several manufacturers of different types of products. Years ago, represented wood furniture line, and was fortunate enough. We were fortunate enough to furnish the Levi Strauss corporate headquarters in 1980. It was a very large project. It was something like $3 million net worth of furniture.
Did you get credit for the sale?
Yes, as a matter of fact. It was cubicles, wood-clad cubicles, wood work surfaces, and so forth. But the interesting thing is, if they were to use that furniture today, it would be so inappropriate for computer users. Thinking back to 1980, there was no real heavy usage of computers to speak of, so they weren't ergonomically correct. The problem with the advent of the computer is brought about a whole lot of issues, physical issues that turn into workers' comp claims and what have you. It's a very, very serious problem that's developed over the years. And, you know, it goes back to, gosh, in the 80s, right after about 81, I think, something like that, we go to a show every year in Chicago called Neocon, where they introduce all the new products for in the office furniture industry. And it was the year of the chair. And it was all about movement and adjustment and so forth. And gosh, there's all kinds of bells and whistles on a chair now to have the chair adapt to the user rather than the user having to put up with and adapt to the chairs. So many people, particularly in a home office situation, a lot of people are sitting in chairs like this, and it's very, very tough on the body. We know those of us that are entrepreneurial and have businesses working out of the home, we're on a computer a lot. We really need to address what a good chair can do for you, and very, very importantly, in the actual office environment outside the home, I mean, there's just a critical need for good seating and adaptive furniture. I happen to represent a line of adjustable height furniture, right angle products, raproducts.com, where you can lift either electrically or crankwise, lift the surfaces up and down to create the proper working environment for the person. A lot of people think now that you should be standing part of your workday and to relieve pressure off the back. But in reality, so many people, particularly the data entry people that are chained to their computer for 8 hours a day, they're in their seated position. The problem with the seated position is that so many people will come forward on a chair. We'll take this chair, for example. I have a few samples for you to take a look at what's new and exciting in chairs. But what happens is people will sit in a chair and they'll creep forward on the chair. Yeah. And they'll close off this angle, and they're here like this. And they're trying to work the computer bent over, and it's not good. The proper ergonomics of a chair is that you maintain an open 90-degree angle as much as possible throughout the day to enhance and help your digestive system, and also the breathing, the diaphragm as well. This chair here, one of our chairs from VIA, is the Brisbane model. It's indicative of the proper chair that can adapt to the users. For example, you have ratchet back height adjustment here, and you also have, of course, naturally adjustable height arms, but you can also order adjustable width brackets to bring the arms out for those of us that are perhaps spatially challenged, shall we say.
Spatially challenged, I like that, John.
But this, of course, we have pneumatic lift up and down, and you have a lever over here where when it's pulled up, you're able to float in the chair and relax. And that's a very good feature to have, because when you're working and you're properly supported and you want to relax, maybe read for a while or talk on the phone, you're able to just move and relax. It just opens up the spine angle, and also is very good for the vertebra, because there's in between the vertebra or solution in the body to keep the vertebra well oiled, shall we say. And this is able to open it up and literally enhance the flow of the nutrients around the vertebral discs. Now, you also have here a lever that you can tilt the angle of the seat to where it feels good for the person that happens to be using the chair. A lot of times they have multiple users in chairs. This kind of a chair is able to adapt to multiple users. So you open up a tilt, an angle here that relieves the pressure off the backs of the thighs and enhances blood flow. Also, a good chair should have sliding seat. As you can see, the seat slides.
Goes everywhere.
For those that want to have more depth, because they're long leg, most of their height is in their legs, as opposed to the torso, you're able to lengthen the depth for that particular person.
I'll be darned. Like, what's a chair like this go?
This chair here, with all these features, will probably retail in the high 600, low 700s. Of course, with VIA, there's a tremendous value built into the chair. We actually warranty the chairs for lifetime, unconditional lifetime warranty. We call it our forever warranty. And the only thing that's not covered for a lifetime is the fabric, or the leather if you're using leather, or if there's a mesh back like this other chair, there's a mesh chair. It's 5-year warranty on the covers and mesh. But true lifetime warranty on everything. I don't care if it's a caster, if it's a cylinder, if it's an arm, the mechanism underneath. But most importantly is the foam. Our foam, we actually own an interest in a foam producing plant. It's a cold cure molded foam with multi-density pressure points, so that it's firmer here, but then it loosens. It softens out to the front, and that's all for comfort. There is no air in this foam, so therefore you're never going to have this crush, and then it bottoms out and doesn't come back anymore. Like a lot of manufacturers use a cut slab foam that's an awful lot of air in it, and after continuous usage, over time, that crush factor comes into play, and then you have a bottoming out on the seat. You'll never have this with this kind of a chair from VIA. Any of our chairs are done with that kind of foam. So the real important things to think about, by the way, this chair, the most important thing in an environment, in an office environment, is the lighting. You have to have the proper lighting. The second most important thing is the chair, to be able to support the body correctly. And then the most appropriate posture is to have an open 90-degree angle from the knees, up the thighs, and up the back. Again, not wanting to close off this angle and then impacting the diaphragm and the digestive system. So if you maintain this open 90-degree angle, feet flat on the floor, so you're getting the proper depth or the proper height, you only want about 3 or 4 fingers at the most open between the front of the seat and the back of your leg. You don't want total contact here all the way up against the leg. That's not good. That's pressure points and blood flow constriction, and over time it's very bad. So you have this open angle and the ability to move in your chair as you wish. I always like to keep the back floating as opposed to locking. Some people like to lock up. They want that firm, upright support. So there you go. With just a drop of the lever, now you're locked in right here. Okay? And naturally, you want to adjust the back to the liking. Typically, there's a very small range or difference between everybody's lower lumbar. Even somebody as big as me and a smaller person. There's a certain amount of range there that you need, and you find that with the ratchet backs. Okay. There's so many things that can come about to concern yourself with. There's headache. There's musculoskeletal issues, and a good chair goes so far to alleviating a lot of that and avoiding the problems. The other thing is, when you're with your computer, you want the computer, the focal angle, to be just slightly downward. You don't want to do this. You don't want to get into this where your neck, where your head angle is up here, because that puts pressure on the back of the neck, and it causes problems and issues. You want to have a slight downward look to the computer, and then you want a slight downward movement to the arm. You do not want to get into this type of a posture. That's a little exaggerated, of course, but you don't want to have your wrist anywhere beyond neutral, because then you come into some strain, you get into carpal tunnel. We all know about carpal tunnel and how problematic that is. So that you have just a slight downward angle, and hopefully you'll be able to adjust your computer to that angle that's relatively good for you. Any questions? Anybody have any particular questions on
This guy over here.
Yeah, I brought something very interesting. This just to show you, this is more of a traditional ergonomic office chair. It's available with 3 sizes of seats, 3 sizes of backs, multiple arm options, and so forth. But it's a very traditional look. And over the years, people wanted to bring in more aesthetics into the office environment, so the advent of the mesh back came into being. And we have a number of mesh options. This happens to be our latest, and this is a 8-color mesh choice for the mesh bag. It's a multi-stretch mesh material that moves and breathes with the user, and it also has a narrowness, a tapering in the back to allow freedom of movement, which is a lot of people think that this is really the way we should go with office ergonomics. A little less restriction, and then of course your adjustable height, arms, and this also can be adjustable width if you wish. This happens to be a 4-way adjustable arm cap. You go forward, back, out, and in.
Wow.
So that it responds to the user. Obviously, bodies are like fingerprints, no two are alike. You're going to have the petite, you're going to have the heavy, you're going to have the thin, you're going to have the tall, wide, whatever. And we'd like to have the chairs adapt as much as possible to the user. Again, you have the sliding seat available, and these chairs also, by the way, can be ordered as stools or converted to stools in the office by ordering a stool kit. An extended cylinder, there's a high and an extra tall cylinder, and then a foot ring you can add to this chair to bring it to an elevated height type of a stool. Okay. That's called Genie. The genie's out of the bottle.
Genie. Nice.
Now,
How much is this about?
oh, that's going to be about 800 retail, and of course, you guys on new with me, you have half off, and on my samples over in Fremont, you can get as much as 85% off of samples that I have. So if that's of interest, anybody wants another chair for their office, home, or whatever, please come see me. It's available by appointment. Yeah. It's actually a storage facility.
Sure.
But it is an office. Okay. Now this is fun. This comes from Germany. VIA has the exclusive North American distribution rights for it. And this is called Swapper. S-W-O-P-P-E-R. Swapper. And this is a really, really unique dynamic design in that it puts your pelvis in the correct position and then aligns your spine from there. And it's height adjustable, as you saw, and this also could be your tension for up and down can be adjustable, and then also the side to side, front to back movement can be adjusted. But as you see, if you think about the exercise ball, you'll see a lot of Silicon Valley companies has exercise balls in workstations.
Yeah, that's what I will do.
This is created along those same thought process, that same line. It's very dynamic, it's a lot of fun, And what it does, as I said, it puts your spine, your pelvis in the correct position and aligns your spine from there. And then you're actually, without thinking, subconsciously, you are resisting the movement, keeping your balance. And the research has shown that after 2 weeks or so, it starts to retrain your core muscles. It happens to strengthen them. This load, the weight limit on this chair happens to be 290. So I'm taking a chance. I'm an illegal occupant of a chair.
Illegal occupant.
I won't go into that at all. But it's an incredibly fun, energizing type of a product that a lot of people are getting interested in. There's a number of companies in the valley, Silicon Valley, that have chosen this chair to be brought in and integrated into their environments. Most recently, Facebook of all companies. Facebook has ordered a number of these, and it's become quite popular. So this is the swapper, and also some of the more enlightened companies. And I think this is where the name came from. Is they like to swap the chair around between 4 workstations, rotate it around through 4 workstations, so people can have a try at it to relieve some tension throughout the day and so forth. Yes, Elias.
John, is that a shock absorber?
You can imagine, especially with me in the chair,
looks like
there's a lot of shock.
Well, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that in that way, John. No. I see you're funny, but that looks like a shock on a car. That looks pretty cool, actually.
Some people would say this is Pogonomics.
Yeah.
That's a cool chair.
It is a very cool chair. It also comes with an optional back that you can retrofit after the fact if you ordered it without a back and you decide you want one just for resting. Because that's all it is for resting.
Yeah.
You're able to order a back and retrofit it. Very cool.
Retail on that?
And the retail on this is they're rather pricey. They're right up about $1,000 retail.
That's really nice, though.
Again, lifetime warranty on foam. Multiple colors, of course, to choose from. This is what we call a special edition, where you can order the fabric and the spring to coordinate in color. But you can also get it in a dark spring with all kinds of different colors to choose from. So that's Swapper. That's a look at VIA. Again, I really feel that if one expects or is expected to be productive in the seated position for their company, they're crazy not to prioritize money to the chair. Because what good is it if you spend all the money in the world on your environment, your carpet, your wall coverings and so forth, and then you leave $2.98 left over for the chair.
Yeah.
You know, it makes no sense because you expect them to be productive in a seated position. That's where you invest in yourself or your employees. Yes, sir.
2 questions. First, would you know if the foam is natural or synthetic?
It's well, I'm not sure there is a natural foam.
Yeah.
There's a it's
a natural. I mean, a natural rubber foam.
well, this is all sustainable materials that is recyclable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Second question.
Yes, sir.
Is there like a body or a group of maybe certifiers if a chair is ergonomic or not? I mean, would there be some balance?
Well, there are certified ergonomists around that actually are schooled or trained as ergonomists. There are ergonomic consultants. You can literally look it up online and Google ergonomic consultant. You get a whole bunch of different people. Actually, the number 2 person in VIA is a certified ergonomist. And but I will tell you, if you got 10 ergonomists in a room together, you'd have 10 opinions. You know, there's certain inalienable truths, if you will. Open 90-degree angle, lower back support, the ability to relax and move in your chair, and having the chair adjust to you as much as possible, as opposed to being a static, rigid item.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So that's about it. I thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Can we try it later?
pardon me?
Can we sit on it?
Please,
Can we
please,
play
try-
in the chairs?
please, play in the chairs as much as you want, absolutely.
Hey, John, is there anything you want to offer to the GNA members or anything? Or?
Well, I have my ongoing manufacturer rep sample sale, but definitely if anybody wants a chair, particularly GNA people, it's half off. Freight would be included. And by the way, VIA produces everything in 48 hours. Up to 20 chairs per 48 hours. And we're located up in Reno Sparks area, Nevada, northern Nevada.
And then you've got your samples that you sell.
And I do. I have a number of samples in Fremont that I would love to move out and make room for the new product, the new designs. So for a great deal, just call me 510-209.
Oops.
9062. 510-209-9062.
And John, I remember when we talked, within a certain area, are you still delivering the chairs within a certain area? Or?
Yeah, if you're in the immediate Bay Area, let's say within the hour of Fremont, within an hour from Fremont, I would accommodate and bring the chair. But the best thing to do is come out, check out the chairs, pick out what chair you want, and then take it home with you as far as the samples. Brand new, ordering them at the 50% off. Certainly we can have them delivered right to your house or office.
Perfect.
For regular chairs, the advice, if it's not ergonomic, the advice is to get up
Yes.
hour after hour.
Absolutely. You know remember the old traditional thing about the boss catching the workers standing around the water cooler?
Yeah.
The reason why they're standing around over the water cooler is because they probably have an aching back and wanted to get out of that terrible chair they're sitting in. And yeah, I think ideally that every hour on the hour, people should get up and move around just a little bit. Do some stretching, for a couple of minutes. It's not going to kill you. I think in the long term you'll be a lot more productive. So every hour on the hour you should get up and move around for a few minutes.
Perfect. Alrighty, on that note, give John a big round of applause. John, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Wasn't that awesome information, everybody?
That was great. Yeah.
Now, John, I would love to see this presentation at one of our San Mateo monthly masterminds in the future, like more detailed. Maybe we get a few more chairs out, we can get something
sure.
big going.
Sure.
How would you feel about that, everybody? This is very educational, right?
Yes, very good.
How about give John one more big round of applause?
I do. Be happy to. I can bring a whole lot of chairs. I can get a lot of chairs in the van.
And you know, John, we can maybe bring some sample chairs and we can offer them to the members that night.
Sample is ready to sell.
Sure.
Right. I have no problem with that.